Have you ever wondered what would have happened if Tanjiro became a demon instead of Nezuko? Or even better, what if Tanjiro became both a demon and a demon slayer? Just how strong would Tanjiro become? And most importantly, would he be able to save the people he lost this time around? In this timeline, Kibutsuji Muzan attacks the Kamado family earlier than in the original story, while Tanjiro is still at home. Tanjiro desperately tries to protect his family, but he is completely overwhelmed by Muzan's power. Instead of killing him, Muzan becomes intrigued. Impressed by Tanjiro's will to fight, Muzan injects him with an overwhelming amount of his blood, far more than a human should be able to survive. Believing the Kamado family has been wiped out, Muzan leaves. What he doesn't realize is that Nezuko wasn't there. Nezuko was buying food for the family at the market, but a snowstorm forces her to stay in the village overnight. When she returns the next morning, she finds her family slaughtered, the same tragedy Tanjiro witnessed in the original timeline. But then she hears a heartbeat. She realizes it's Tanjiro's. After realizing her brother is still alive, Nezuko carries him toward a nearby town, desperately searching for a doctor. That's when Giyu Tomioka appears. Sensing that Tanjiro has become a demon, Giyu moves to kill him immediately. Nezuko shields her brother and is injured in the process. Despite being a demon, Tanjiro senses Nezuko's blood with his enhanced sense of smell. Realizing his sister is in danger, Tanjiro forces himself to wake up. Just as Giyu prepares to strike again, Tanjiro wakes up and instinctively protects his sister. Placing himself between her and the blade, Giyu is more than shocked to see humanity still alive within a demon, and to witness the unbreakable bond between Tanjiro and Nezuko. Giyu attacks again, not to kill, but to test the bond between the demon and the human. Tanjiro, of course, does everything he can to protect Nezuko. Seeing this, Giyu decides to give Tanjiro a chance and spares his life. That's when a miracle happens. The sun rises, Tanjiro's body begins to burn. Nezuko freezes in fear, not knowing what to do, and even Giyu believes Tanjiro is finished. Then something shocking happens. Tanjiro's body stops burning. Tanjiro stands in the sunlight, a demon who has conquered the sun. Realizing both the danger and the potential, Giyu takes Tanjiro and Nezuko to the Demon Slayer Corps headquarters. The moment they arrive, chaos erupts. Every Demon Slayer present is frozen in shock at the sight of a demon standing calmly under the sun. The Hashira immediately draw their weapons and demand Tanjiro's execution. Sanemi and Obanai are ready to kill him on the spot. Before blood is spilled, Kagaya Ubuyashiki arrives and commands everyone to stand down, invoking his absolute authority as the leader of the Corps. One by one, the Hashira insist that Tanjiro must be killed. Before Gyome steps forward, Giyu speaks up and tells the Hashira that Tanjiro is different, stating that he personally witnessed Tanjiro's humanity and his willingness to protect a human even after becoming a demon. Ubuyashiki listens, then reveals the Kamado family's connection to sun breathing. He explains that Tanjiro's existence is unprecedented, a demon immune to sunlight, born from the lineage closest to Yoriichi himself. To Ubuyashiki, Tanjiro is not a monster. He is a weapon against Muzan Kibutsuji. The Hashira reject this immediately. That's when Gyome Himejima steps forward. Just like in the original timeline, Gyome wounds himself and releases the scent of his blood, testing not Tanjiro's weakness, but his restraint. Tanjiro trembles, but resists. He passes the test. Ubuyashiki then makes a binding vow in front of all the Hashira. If Tanjiro ever harms an innocent human, the Demon Slayer Corps will execute him without hesitation. With that condition set, Ubuyashiki issues his orders. Giyu Tomioka is tasked with finding Tamayo. Nezuko is placed under Shinobu Kocho's supervision, both to train and to study her unique physiology. Tanjiro begins training under Giyu, preparing to fight as a demon slayer while hiding his true nature. Nezuko accepts the conditions without protest. It is the only way her brother can live. 2 years pass. Through Tamayo's medicine, Tanjiro gains full control over his demon body without losing his humanity. At the same time, Nezuko's training pushes her to a level comparable to Kanao. Her strength driven not by technique, but by instinct, speed, and endurance. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this What If timeline, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Tanjiro and Nezuko's first mission under the Demon Slayer Corps leads them to a strange shifting house controlled by a drum demon, Kyogai. Unlike the original timeline, the fight doesn't drag on. Kyogai is no longer a lower moon, and against a demon who has full control over his own body, he is completely outmatched. With Nezuko covering his movements, Tanjiro adapts instantly and defeats Kyogai with little difficulty. For the first time, the Demon Slayer Corps witnesses something unsettling. A demon, fighting for humanity. The mission ends quickly. That's when Tanjiro encounters two familiar faces, Zenitsu Agatsuma, Inosuke Hashibira. The trio meets under different circumstances, but the result is the same. Their paths are now connected. Their next mission sends them to Natagumo Mountain. The moment Tanjiro steps onto the mountain, he knows exactly what he's dealing with. Lower Moon 5, Rui. Tanjiro tells Nezuko to stay back and charges forward alone. The fight begins immediately. Because Tanjiro trained under Gyu, his water breathing is far more refined this time. His movements are sharper than ever before. During the intense battle, something unexpected happens. Tanjiro awakens his blood demon art. At the same time, his breathing changes. Tanjiro locks in and his water breathing suddenly turns into sun breathing. Each strike carries burning heat that prevents Rui from regenerating. Rui is completely overwhelmed. Unable to adapt, Tanjiro decapitates him with little difficulty. Meanwhile, Nezuko, Inosuke, and Zenitsu defeat the remaining demons on the mountain. When the Hashira arrive, they are left in shock. For the first time, the Hashira begin to question their own judgment. Maybe Ubuyashiki was right all along, because Tanjiro Kamado is not an ordinary demon. The story moves forward to the Mugen Train arc. Their next mission sends Tanjiro, Nezuko, and the others to the Mugen Train. Just like in the original timeline, the demon Enmu is behind everything, but this time, the outcome is very different. Enmu is defeated far more easily than before. Tanjiro isn't exhausted. His demon regeneration keeps him fighting without slowing down, and with Nezuko and the others supporting him, Enmu never gets the chance to push them to their limits. The battle ends quickly. The passengers are saved, but that's when something far worse appears. Upper Moon 3, Akaza. His presence alone overwhelms the battlefield. Just like the original timeline, Kyojuro Rengoku steps forward and confronts him without hesitation. The difference is that this time, Rengoku is not fighting alone. Tanjiro joins the battle at full strength. The clash is violent. Akaza overwhelms the field with speed and destructive power, but Tanjiro keeps up. During the battle, something incredible happens. Tanjiro awakens his Demon Slayer mark, and because the mark resonates between Demon Slayers, its presence triggers something else. Rengoku awakens his own Demon Slayer mark. Now fighting together at their peak, Tanjiro and Rengoku completely change the flow of the battle. Akaza realizes it immediately. At this point in time, he cannot kill Rengoku. With no path to victory and sensing the approach of dawn, Akaza retreats, escaping before the sun rises, which means Rengoku actually survives in this timeline. And most importantly, Akaza leaves without ever realizing the truth. He never learns that Tanjiro can conquer the sun. Then the Entertainment District mission begins. In this timeline, nothing major changes, except everything become easier. Tanjiro takes on Daki by himself, overwhelming her far faster than in the original story. Soon after, Gyutaro appears. Nezuko, Zenitsu, and Inosuke keep Daki occupied, while Tanjiro fights alongside Tengen against Gyutaro. With Tanjiro's overwhelming strength and regeneration, Upper Moon 6 is defeated with little difficulty. Because of that, Tengen never loses his arm. The same thing happens during the Swordsmith Village mission. Tanjiro forges a new sword, and when the demons appear, the outcome is already decided. With Tanjiro's new power, combined with the strength of two Hashira, Upper Moon 5 and Upper Moon 4 are defeated, just like in the original timeline. The Hashira training begins. With Tanjiro's presence, the entire core grows stronger faster than in the original timeline. His demon regeneration allows him to train relentlessly, while sun breathing sharpens his techniques beyond human limits. Some Hashira still doubt him, but his discipline and control prove them wrong. As the training continues, Demon Slayer marks begin appearing more frequently. Not long after, Muzan learns about Tanjiro's existence and arrives at the Demon Slayer Corps headquarters. Just like in the original timeline, Ubuyashiki knew he was coming and detonates his estate. After the explosion, every Hashira arrives at the scene, shocked to see Muzan standing calmly at the center of the blast. At that moment, Tamayo injects Muzan with a powerful 4-stage drug. All the Hashira rush toward Muzan, but before they can reach him, they are all transferred into the Infinity Castle. Just like in the main story. What's different in this timeline is that Rengoku never died, and Tengen never lost his arm, even though he had already retired after defeating an Upper Moon, honoring the promise he made to his wives to leave the Demon Slayer Corps and live a normal life. Tengen still arrives at the scene. When Nakime activates the Infinity Castle, he is caught in the technique and teleported inside along with the others, meaning there are 2 extra Hashira ready to fight. Inside the Infinity Castle, the only battle that doesn't change is Zenitsu versus Kaigaku, and Zenitsu defeats him. Shinobu versus Doma begins, and just like the original timeline, Shinobu allows herself to be killed and eaten as part of her plan. Soon after, Kanao arrives and attacks Doma. Not long after that, Inosuke arrives as well, but he isn't alone. Nezuko is with him, ready to take revenge for her sensei. Nezuko, fully human, fights alongside them. Shinobu's poison begins to take effect, weakening Doma from within. With coordinated attacks and the poison working, Doma is finally defeated, his head severed, and the threat neutralized. Meanwhile, Tanjiro and Giyu encounter Akaza. Tanjiro tells Giyu that he can handle Akaza on his own, and asks him to help the other Hashira instead. Giyu senses Tanjiro's strength and agrees, joining the fight against Kokushibo. Even though Tanjiro has become incredibly strong, he still struggles against Akaza. As the fight intensifies, Tanjiro unlocks the transparent world. Mid-fight, Akaza remembers his wife and chooses to take his own life, allowing Tanjiro to win and join the others. That's when the battle against Upper Moon 1 begins. Kokushibo is unimaginably powerful, but he is facing monsters. Tanjiro, Giyu, Gyomei, Sanemi, and Muichiro. And that's not all. Rengoku and Tengen are there as well. Even though he is outnumbered, Kokushibo is still holding back, forcing all of them to unlock their Demon Slayer marks and the transparent world during the intense battle. During the mid-fight, he even manages to severely injure Gyomei. However, after a brutal and exhausting battle, Upper Moon 1 is finally defeated by the Demon Slayers, and most importantly, aside from Gyomei, the other Demon Slayers suffer only minor injuries. And because the other Hashira were keeping Kokushibo occupied, he never had a chance to kill Genya or Muichiro. On the other hand, Mitsuri Kanroji and Obanai Iguro confront Upper Rank 4, Nakime. Unlike other Upper Moons, Nakime never fights head-on. She manipulates the Infinity Castle itself, endlessly shifting rooms and corridors. The 2 Hashira chase her through the collapsing structure, narrowly avoiding death with every movement. Their objective isn't to kill Nakime, it's to stall her. As Mitsuri and Obanai keep the pressure on, Yushiro successfully takes control of Nakime's vision, allowing him to manipulate the Infinity Castle. Realizing what's happening, Muzan kills Nakimi to stop Yushiro from using her powers. The Infinity Castle loses its stability and begins to collapse. Thanks to Yushiro's efforts, the Demon Slayers escape the Infinity Castle and reach the surface safely, leaving the Demon King with no choice but to face the Demon Slayers on the ground. This means Muzan is now facing all of the Hashira with Demon Slayer marks, Tanjiro, Nezuko, Inosuke, Zenitsu, and the remaining Demon Slayers all at once. In the final battle, the combined attacks of the Demon Slayers and Tamayo's poison weaken Muzan to the point where he begins running instead of attacking. For the first time, the Demon King is trying to escape. Muzan goes all out, using every technique he has in order to survive. His attacks severely injure the Demon Slayers, pushing everyone to their limits. That's when everything changes. Tanjiro remembers the night Muzan attacked and brutally murdered his entire family right in front of his eyes. He completely loses himself. Tanjiro enters a state of pure rage and unleashes the 13th form of sun breathing. But he doesn't stop there. He combines the technique with his blood demon art. Using this final attack, Tanjiro simultaneously destroys all 7 of Muzan's hearts and all 5 of his brains, ending everything once and for all, earlier than in the original timeline. As Muzan dies, Tanjiro's body begins to change. He slowly starts turning back into a human, a normal person again. Because the battle doesn't drag on as long as it did in the original timeline, all of the Hashira actually lives. But unfortunately, Gyomei Himejima dies shortly after the battle. Not only is he badly injured, but the curse of the Demon Slayer mark also takes its toll. Having surpassed the age of 25, his body can no longer endure it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this timeline, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video.